Good afternoon, or in some cases, for some of you, good morning. Welcome to today's video podcast episode where I have asked one of my new professional connections, Will Sullivan, to join us so that he can share with all of us some of the great things that he does in telling stories for both nonprofit as well as for-profit businesses. So let me ask Will to join us in the studio.
Hey,
Hello,
Bill.
Will.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you today?
Doing good, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing your time with us. I know when we were in conversations to set today's video podcast together, I knew that I had to squeeze myself into your busy schedule because you've got all of these interesting projects that require your attention and time.
Yeah, and things move so fast sometimes, and I appreciate the flexibility. A shoot can come up, and all of a sudden, we gotta shift some things around. So I appreciate it. But yeah, we had a shoot earlier this week. It went really well.
Good to know that. Good to know that. And perhaps later on in this conversation, I'll leave that to you. Maybe you will or can freely share some snippets of who some of these projects are, who are they for, et cetera, et cetera. But before we go there, when I met you, Will, 6-8 weeks back through a very casual networking conversation, one of the things I took away as I learned about you is you're in a business where it's rapidly growing, a lot of demand.
Yeah.
Why? Because, well, kind of like my amateur video podcast.
Yeah.
Video is king.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I say this very layman-like, which is human nature. We're all very voyeuristic. We want to see something.
Mm-hmm. And visual, yes.
Visual, right.
Yeah.
And for me, I learn visually, so I buy into that whole, human nature aspect.
Yeah.
So, Will, first question, can you share with our audience members, what was your journey to build the business that you run, own, and operate today?
Yeah. So I went to film school, Columbia College, and I graduated in 2013. Hot out the gates, I wanted to do, originally I wanted to do Hollywood films, and you'll see behind me, I got a Fight Club poster and then a 2001: A Space Odyssey, screenshot there on my wall. So, I've had this love of film all my life, and I wanted to go to school and learn the ways how to do that. And I got thrown into really the marketing world just kind of on a whim, and I interned at a small startup agency. And what started as an internship led to part-time job, led to full-time job. And then, all the while there, I was doing marketing videos, interviewing people and capturing B-roll from events and things like that. But at the root of it, it was really, again, storytelling, and which is what I wanted to do in the first place. So I really was enjoying that world, and having fun with it, telling stories within the tech industry, within the energy industry, and other fields as well. And so at my time at that company, I built a client base there, local businesses, small businesses, and even large scale companies as well, and brands. So I was there about 7 years, and then I went off. I decided, 2020 January was a great time to quit, and kind of get my ducks in a row, and gave myself February to get things in order, and then by March I was ready to LLC my business. Little did I know, a little thing called COVID-19 was right around the corner. So it was a very challenging start for sure. I LLC'd my business the first week of March, and like I said, I had that book of business that I brought with me, which did give me a good, baseline to get started. But,
Yeah.
it went from like 11 to just like 0 in a matter of weeks. Shoots were being canceled, projects entirely were being canceled. And it was just, yeah, for everybody, it was a really scary, uncharted water. And so, it was rough for a couple months for sure. We did some, video podcast editing here and there. We try to refocus our website and our marketing and brand approach from our side of things. So during that time, we're not just sitting around twiddling our thumbs. We're actually trying to enhance what we could do for our customers. So that was good at least. And then a few months in, come spring and summer, we started to get busier again, gain some clients, and things ever since, I would say, like summer and fall of 2020, it's been just roaring. And so
Wow.
we're really happy, grateful for all of our clients and work. And yeah, we're shooting for the stars.
Good, good. Can you share with us why you've named your agency Vision One? What's the message behind that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So what I didn't mention was before film, I'm still very interested in music and passionate about music. You can see there's a piano behind me here.
Yeah.
And so from a very young age, music was another art that really captured me, and still to this day does. One of my favorite bands is called Röyksopp, and they're a Norwegian electronic duo. And they have a song called Vision One. And I think one of the hardest things to do is come up with a company name, or a brand name, even a song name too. It's just like, I don't know, it's just so difficult. And so me and my partners, Ben and Ricky, we were just racking our brains and came up with a list, and we were like, yeah, I don't know, that's not it. That's not it. This one works. This one could work, And then I was just listening to music one day, and one of my favorite bands popped up, and this song Vision One. And I was like, I wrote it down and just kind of let it, sit there for a bit, and came back to it. And I was like, that's it. It really resonates with me. I added agency to the end of it because, I wanted it to be telling that, we are full service. We do from start to finish creative production, post-production, animation, and delivery of video projects and documentaries and short films and films. So I felt that was really great, and we all have one vision here. We all have one goal, and
I like
that's to
that.
tell stories. Yeah, and so it really resonated on so many levels, and I was like, "That's it." So it worked.
I love that part of the story. And even before today, to think about asking that question of you, I of course had my perception as to why maybe Vision One is the mantra for your business. But
Yeah,
thank you for sharing. Yeah.
yeah, and to further, say too, on many levels too, like vision, and film, and
Yeah.
our logo with the eye, it's all about creatively telling stories too, is how we push our messaging too. So it just, like I said, on many levels it resonated, and yeah, it was perfect. So
So the light bulb went off and you said, that's it, I'm running with it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Love it, love it. Next question. After meeting you, you were kind enough to connect with me through social media. And
Yeah.
of course, as part of learning more about you before spending more time together today, I started looking at some of your work, right?
Yeah, thank you.
And the one thing that really stuck with me was your Continental Tire shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watched that, by the way, I watched it, I think a total of like almost 6 times.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
There was kind of, there was drama in it. There was humor. And I could tell there was a story underlying underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've shared my perception with you as one of your consumers of content,
Mm-hmm.
here's my question. How did you assemble all of those resources for the shoot, especially the soccer player?
Yeah, that was one of the biggest projects we've ever done. And
Really?
yeah, so one being a TV commercial, national broadcast spot, two shooting in one of the biggest studio spaces we've ever, worked in. It was a great experience. I mean, one things we just pride ourselves on is having a team ready to, attack any size project,
Good.
whether you are, a small business owner and you want to tell your story on social media, we can do that. Whether you're a international brand that makes, tires, we can produce your TV commercial, so we were ready for this size of a project, even though we hadn't done something like of this size before. So um, the marketing agency Revolution World reached out to us to produce it, and we, of course, gladly accepted and was super excited to be brought on for the project. And so the creative was already completed, so the concept of everything, and who the talent was, Sean Johnson from the New
Yeah.
York City FC team was already, slated to be a part of it. It was based on an actual game. That's why it's kind of bookended with the footage from the game, of this just miraculous save that he made. And they ended up winning that tournament. And it was just a big moment for the team and for him. And so, of course, Continental's banner was behind the goalpost, and they wanted to make a commercial about it. So,
Right.
yeah, my co-founder Ricky, who's out in LA, had just really some great crew members just ready to go. He found this great art team who built the set for us, who printed all of the banners and everything like that, really imitating exactly how it was on the day.
Wow.
So we used the footage and we zoomed in and we got photos from behind the goalpost to really recreate that moment just as it was, as best as possible.
Okay.
And so got a great cinematographer, Scott Collins, come in to shoot it for us and figure out the lighting setups and things like that. We wanted it to be intense, but also not overly dramatic, because we don't want to off put people, because it's bookended with the footage and you're zooming into this moment of his headspace,
Yeah.
and so we didn't want to over dramatize that and just kind of keep it sort of natural. So yeah, the studio we ended up shooting in New York City and found a lot of great local crew out there. Everyone was just amazing, came together so well, so it was a lot of fun.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
And certainly, at the product branding level, Continental Tire, I personally am familiar with it. I mean,
Yes.
it's the tire of choice for a lot of mid to luxury vehicles, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very high end. They're a lot in sports. It's the MLS tire of choice. So that was why they co-branded the spot with Continental and Major League Soccer. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Perfect. Perfect. Talk to me about this. Well, what is different, or what can be different when you're shooting video content, and maybe what you're shooting for is a social message, the nonprofits, if you will, versus shooting content for a for-profit business? What are some differences, or are there really no differences? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, no, that's another great question. I mean, I really think there are a lot of similarities, honestly. And number one, I think it comes to just telling people who you are, telling your true story, and really finding unique ways to do that. Whether it's through animation, we do stop motion animation as well. It's a very unique way of telling a story. Or of course, just cinema, visually. So with an innovative cinematographer who's someone who thinks outside the box, or a different way to shoot something or move a camera in a specific way. I think whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit business, it's not really that different. I mean, the style of a video could be different. Whereas if you're a nonprofit, usually sort of the docu-style coverage works better. Where you're interviewing people, seeing them, work, how they work, things like that is typically a beneficial way to tell a story in that way. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes at like what the brand is, what the product is, what they do, and then we really just kind of come up with a unique approach just based on who the company is, and who our target audience is as well is a huge contender in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to imagine that in your business specifically, one of your greatest strengths must be that of being able to ask a lot of questions up front with your client, nonprofit, for profit. My suspicion is the art of asking enough of those great questions up front will help you and your team cement in your mind, how do I tell that story to a bigger audience, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. It's all in pre-production is what we call it, before you actually are shooting anything, before you're capturing anything on camera. So we have a lot of meetings, depending on, of course, how big the project is, but on any project, we want to get to know who the client is, who's going to be on camera, what the target audience is, where is this video going to be going?
Right.
Is it internal? Is it external? Is it social media? Is it TV? And we have a laundry list of questions that we have standardized that we're just going to, kind of go down the line. And, but we keep it fun. We really like to have personal relationships with all of our clients. So get to know them as well too, not just from a business standpoint, but, what do you like to do? And, what makes you tick, or, just, kind of really in and out, have a full understanding of, who we're working with and the company as well.
Yeah. Great. So with that nice little segue, I'm going to pivot a little bit here.
Yeah.
With my next two questions.
Sure.
When you're not busy running Vision One Agency, working your mojo of shooting video content, telling a story, what are some other things you like to do? I think I've already heard this. You love music. So
yes.
Right. So including music, any other things that you want to share with us that you spend your time on?
Yeah, definitely. Well, my free time is few and far between, but when I do, I love to golf. I love to just get outside and, spend out as much time as I can. So living in Chicago, it's tough because you only have, a little less than half the year to do that. So, but I love to bike as well. So I love biking the Lakeshore Path, on Lake Michigan here. I love to DJ. So,
You do? Wow.
I do. Yeah. House music, disco, some funk. So I love doing that. I don't do it too frequently.
Okay.
But I'll actually be doing that tonight as well. So,
Whoa.
it's good to kind of balance that. And I love sharing music with people too. So that's just another big thing. But, and yeah, playing music too, just at home, like I'll practice piano, from time to time, or whip out my guitar. It's definitely been a while, but I always try and keep the muscle memory in there a little bit. But yeah, try to keep busy. I love watching, new movies and television shows. Of course, I'm always trying to catch up and see what other people are doing. So how we can, pull inspiration from that too. So yeah.
Right. So when you get that gig to shoot video content, tell the story of an up and coming professional golfer, share that with me, because then I'll say, oh my gosh, I knew Will when he told me he loves golf, and now he's married with his other passion.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Yeah. I mean, it'll come for sure. Yeah. In my past days, I used to photograph and do video for a lot of DJs, and I actually met some of my favorite musicians and producers already. So I've actually met the band Royksopp, who I named my company after I got the Division One name for. I met them before, and it's when the two worlds collide, it's awesome. I mean, it makes it so much worthwhile. Is you gotta love what you do, and I constantly remind myself that daily. And when jobs like that come up, it's really just it's a dream.
So the last question I want to ask you is, what is your go-to song or music? Maybe you have several that you use to get you into your zone. Can you share with us maybe, I don't know, a couple?
Yeah, it's not a particular song. I think it changes so frequently for me. if you're gonna ask me like my favorite song, I could give you 20. I don't have one just specific song, but
Me. Yep.
yeah, generally a good amp up song for me is anything from Tame Impala, another favorite band of mine,
Okay.
or the Parcels. They're awesome too, and Röyksopp too. Any three of those bands, you put one of their tracks on, I'm gonna be pretty happy guy.
You'll be like, okay, I'm getting into my zone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Getting some work done, or a nice bike ride, or something like that. Yeah.
All right, perfect. As we wrap up, let me now segue to sharing a few moments from our sponsor for
Great.
today's episode. Our sponsor for today's episode is Planet Home Lending. For our audience members who need help to finance their next real estate purchase, think of us at Planet Home Lending. We'll get you home. So, Will, as we wrap up, thank you once again for sharing your time with me.
Thank you.
I learned even more today beyond that one conversation that we had together at a networking function.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing more of these stories that has your fingerprint on it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was really great chat with you, Bill. Appreciate it.
Let's wave a good, simple goodbye to our audience members until we see each other again soon.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.